We acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we record this podcast.
Always was, always will be Aboriginal land.
Let's get into it. I'm going to intro the hell out of this.
Heck yeah.
Hey green beans, welcome to our Christmas episode. We're recording this in early October and holy moly, I cannot fathom that not only is 2022 nearly over, but Christmas is disgustingly close. This year, we hope to give you all the gift of a slightly greener Christmas, going through a few not so jolly parts of the Christmas season and some ways we can be a little kinder. But before we properly get into it, I want to go on a classic Green Girls tangent and talk about our Christmases a little, how they differ between Australia and England, our favourite parts as a child versus an adult. So over to you, Michaela, in your very classy antlers. What makes your Christmas Christmas?
I love the holy moly.
I needed to get some sort of Christmas pun in there.
Definitely. It wouldn't be a Green Girls podcast without a little bit of a pun.
Absolutely not. Dad energy.
Yeah, love it. That's what we're all about. Yes. All right. What makes my Christmas Christmas? Honestly, I feel like I'm currently in the stage where it's evolving. Like it's very different to my childhood Christmas. I think as soon as you live out of home, it's like a whole nother ball game. You know, it's just Jake and I here. So at my parents' house, you'd wake up in the morning and everyone would be like, even when you're older, everyone would be like, Merry Christmas. Now I wake up and it's just like, Christmas. What do you want for breakfast? I don't know. What do you want to do before we go to whatever parent's house? But in this house we've been in 2 years now. So we've had 2 Christmases here. I put up the tree in November because you have to milk it. I absolutely love the tree. Yeah. I love fairy lights and all that stuff. We don't have any presents under it. It's just like decorated. And I decorate it myself. Like I said to Jake last year, do you want to help me decorate? And he's like, oh, nah, I'm all right. Like I like climbing up the stairs and it's just bam, done. So boom. I go around and like strategically place this size, this size, this size. And it's just the joy.
Well done.
I love it. Put on
Where
a
does
tacky
it go?
Christmas movie.
Is it in your living room?
It is. So you can see it from the couch. And because our kitchen has like a half shelf, you can see through it. So you can also see it from the kitchen. So it's currently filled with plants, so I don't know where I'm going to put them.
They might have to move over. Do you get a real tree or do you have one that you pull out?
So I used to love having the real tree. My dad always got one. But when we moved out, I was like, I want a tree. And I looked on Catch and I looked and looked and looked and I wanted a big F off massive tree. And I had all these tabs open and I checked all the measurements and I was super stoked. And I have this photo and this photo is definitely going to go on our Instagram. Brilliant. The tree arrived and I was like, it's a very small box. I guess it comes in parts. I took it out and I put it together and I had ordered the wrong tree and I was taller than my tree.
No.
But I was like, you know what? It's done. I'm just going to keep it. It's hilarious. Every time I look at it now, I'm going to laugh. So I have this photo of me standing there like defeated with my thumbs up just next to the tree being like,
oh. So is that the one you still use?
Yeah. So we've got 2 Christmases so far. And this will be the 3rd that it's used.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see it.
Yes, it's
with a small tree, funny. You know, less baubles.
Yeah, well, I've put a lot of baubles on it.
Oh, every branch.
Yeah, but I think
multiple
I did
baubles.
buy most of them after Christmas. So I got them
really?
super duper cheap and op shops.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
You know.
They have the goods. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, my Christmas is setting up the tree in November by myself, thoroughly enjoying it, watching a bit of a tacky Christmas movie, and then we go from like house to house, either on Christmas or Boxing Day, depending on the family.
Do you have a set sort of food?
Not really. Like I'm definitely more included these days. You know, any sides or anything, most of them are made so that I can eat them, being vegan. And then, you know, it's normally like whoever hosts it makes most of the food, but then everyone will bring a little something. So like you could bring a vegan dessert, or like I tried to make my own like tofu thing.
Ooh.
Interesting and a lot of effort. I think I'll just buy one next time. But I don't want to overdo it because the ones you buy are like so big, and normally it's just me that eats it. So then it's like waste. So
yeah, fair
still
enough.
learning, still figuring it out.
Well, it might be that the store-bought one, you know, everyone could love.
That's true.
If it's that good.
I think I just need to sneak it onto the table and be like, oh, I don't know what this is. And then let everyone
What could it
get
be?
some. And then
Mystery
I'll just take
meat.
the end. And they'll be like, oh, you're eating that. Like, yes, it's vegan.
They immediately put it back like, oh no, must be grass.
No, I'm joking. My family is very, very good.
Yeah, honestly, from like the families I've heard about, yours seems to be really good, really supportive.
It is very good. I think last year my auntie made a sticky date pudding that was vegan, and I got to take it home, and I was so excited.
Aww.
And everyone else was like, this is delicious, and I was like, don't eat it, it's mine.
You're not allowed. You need to swear off all animals, and then you're allowed the good dessert.
Yeah, exactly right. A little
That's
treat.
right. Yeah. Treat yourself.
What about you? You would have snow, right? Totally different ball game.
I wish we had snow. No, we just have miserable grey weather for like 3 months.
That's sad.
I think the one time it did snow was still like in January or February or something. It generally doesn't snow where I am anyway because it's really salty. Like it's a coastal town and there's just so much like salt in the air that even if it was going to snow, it just turns into sludge.
Yeah, that's no fun.
It's no fun. You can't do much. It's just tobogganing down sludgy grass. It's kind of it. But it is still bizarre to me that December here is summer.
Yeah.
And especially like because Melbourne does get cold, part of my brain is like, okay, I can understand that it's spring right now for us, but like it's going to be winter in December. Like it's going to be Christmas is cold, so it's just going to flip.
Yeah,
my brain's like,
it's just going to work.
Not okay with it. Yeah, it's going to work out. It's going to be cold somehow. I mean, it's Melbourne, so who knows? It could really easily be cold.
Well, exactly. I mean, look at the weather forecast now. It's like horrible rain and
too right.
Scary weather.
Yeah. But I'm used to like the night before Christmas, everyone goes to the local pub. And like when I was a kid, it used to be like everyone goes to play on the beach. When I was an older kid, like I'd be minding the kids on the beach while everyone else is literally at the pub across from the beach.
Cute.
And like when we're older, it's like all my friends, they'll come to that pub and like we all have a drink together. And of course, there's that 1 or 2 years where we think it's going to be a great idea to get really drunk. And then you realize the next day on Christmas, that was the worst idea.
Oh, yes. No, not
I know,
a good
28
plan.
and now we're all much, much wiser.
Yeah, you learnt your lesson.
Learned our lessons? Oh my gosh, yeah, it's not fun. I mean, if Santa still drops off gifts for you in your early 20s, it's not fun being hungover for that. No, not at all.
Definitely not.
But I'm used to like the pub and carol singers and mulled cider and mulled wine and like wrapping up really warm. So it's just bonkers to me that it's backwards here. And like people have prawns on Christmas Day. It seems to be like a big thing. Like Tarek was pretty insistent before and like, prawns on Christmas Day. Come on. I'm like, that's not a Christmas food. Like
I'm pretty sure my dad's all about that, but for obvious reasons I am not. But
clearly not.
I don't know. It is a weird thing. But I guess
like,
it's the same
cold
as like
foods.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's the same as the US and Turkey. Like, why is Turkey their Christmas? You know, why is prawns ours?
I think that the UK does turkey as well, and I was like, what? Why?
Yeah, so bizarre.
Not to start on my tangents early, but but here I go anyway. I do, like if it wasn't a tradition, I do not think anyone would bother eating turkey on Christmas Day. Like, think of. Even if it's still meat, think what you'd rather be eating. If not for tradition, if I was still eating meat, I would rather have a really big carbonara.
Yes.
And that would be great. I mean, I guess I don't know what my favorite meal would be as a vegan. I'll have to figure that out. But it's not turkey, and it's not a vegan turkey replica either.
Yeah.
Like turkey is bland. Like you need all of the extra Christmas things to make it good. Yeah. Well, from that, how about we just go straight into food? Because I know you've looked up some great stats about turkeys.
Yes. So now this is in the US, and this is Thanksgiving/Christmas statistics.
Cool.
So for every year, an estimated 245 million turkeys are raised and killed. So that's a big number.
Big number.
Yeah. And now at Thanksgiving, that's 46 million. Mm-hmm. And at Christmas, 22 million.
Wow.
Now,
So people eat more turkeys at Thanksgiving?
Yeah. I feel like Thanksgiving is bigger than Christmas. I don't know. Don't come at me. I don't know anything about American. I don't know. I know it's just crazy though. And I wish I had have done some research in terms of like how many that is per household or per, in relation to how many people live in the US.
Yeah.
But maths is not my forte. And
well, a turkey's a pretty big bird.
They are
so I
big.
imagine it's one to like a family, I assume.
But then not only that, like you have turkey, but you have all the other foods as well. Like what family is going to eat all that in one go?
Oh, and it became the fashion, maybe not for Thanksgiving, because I feel like that probably has a lot of traditions attached to it. But I mean, Christmas does too, but it became so fashionable to have like a bird stuffed with a bird. Did you hear about this?
No.
Yeah,
What?
and people I think are doing it with like fish and like other things like pork and then beef and then chicken or like a whole thing like that. Like just sorry.
That's a lot. How does that even work?
Well, I know that, I mean, stuffing is its own thing, like you stuff that inside.
Yeah.
But yeah, somehow I guess it's just they've worked out the sizes of these things and put them inside.
That's crazy.
I'm not sure either.
I don't know if you guys can see the gestures at this stage.
I'm not sure how it works. But it's like you could have these things individually. Like, no.
You could. Exactly.
Let's just Frankenstein them all together. That sounds delicious. Yeah, I guess Christmas and food is like such a thing for a lot of people, and I know that now I'm like, oh, I wish like I would love to have Yorkshire puddings and like potatoes, all of those things, like because of the tradition. Even though I'm not fussed about half those things most of the year, it's nice to have a special meal, but everyone seems to be like having the same tradition. But like you said with Jake, like it's nice to come up with your own thing. Like I won't be in England for Christmas this year, and that makes me quite sad, but I'm excited to start other traditions here. Like it's nice to have the clean slate that is Australia, to be like, well, what do I want to do on this day to make it special?
That's exactly.
And if your values don't align with a turkey, or even if you just don't like turkey, for Pete's sake, like, come on, think of something else.
I think that's a really good point. And I think the key thing with traditions is that we associate the memory. Like when we're kids, Christmas is such a magical, wonderful time that you associate, eating those foods with that feeling. So I think you're trying to bring it back and you think, oh, great, well, it's Christmas time. We got to have all this stuff that we had when I was a kid to make it that amazing, wonderful
nostalgic
time.
Yeah.
But I love that you said that you can make your own traditions because, even we're adults, like even if you're a teenager, you can say, hey, family, I'd really love it if we could do blah. And then in a couple years' time, you've made your own tradition and you've made those memories and those feelings. So why not?
Yeah, it doesn't need to be what the Joneses are doing, like next door neighbours.
Yes.
Absolutely not. And then you look at traditions in other places. I might be getting this totally wrong, but I feel like in Japan it somehow became like KFC.
Oh, yes. I think we touched on this on our Vegan for the Holidays episode.
Yeah? I don't know how KFC managed that. Kudos to your marketing team. But somehow that happened. It was like, these things, they can just take over.
Exactly. You just got to start your own tradition. Whatever you want to do, figure it out.
Yeah. Well, what would your ideal food be then? If it's not Christmas themed?
If it's not Christmas themed, that is really tricky because I don't even know what my favorite food is now. Lord of the Fries. Mind you, I treat myself to that every Friday now when I'm at trade school. It started off as like a little, like, oh, I'll just get a burger or I'll just get this. And now every Friday I'm like, yep, Lord of the Fries. Deliberately, I'm not bringing lunch. I'm going to buy a Lord of the Fries. But yeah, I don't really know. I think any food is good food, right?
Tell you what I do like. Like as a kid, obviously I'm like Christmas, yes. I like presents. And as an adult, I still like the whole like things wrapped up under a tree. I'm not really that bothered. It could be whatever in that box, but I do like, I like it. I'm like, oh, it's a surprise. It's like, it is that exchanging of care as well as a gift. Like someone's thought of me and what I might like. But as a kid, I'm definitely like, oh my gosh, yes, gifts.
Yeah,
Whereas
exactly.
now, the favorite thing for me about food is more that people have come together, and that aspect of like one place might do the majority of the cooking, but it generally is like a team effort. And it's not that common now, at least for my family, to make a big meal that we all share. We all bring something to the table. My family is a little bit Everybody Loves Raymond, where there's my family's house, my mum and dad's, and then during the Christmas my grandparents' house is next door.
Oh,
they rent it out during the summer, so it's like a holiday home, and then
Yeah.
they live there in the winter. And so literally next door
That's so
is
cute.
as far as we go on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
And my other grandma actually lives up the road. Like you turn right and she's there.
Oh my gosh.
And so like that grandma makes a trifle and brings it along. The first grandma, we all go to her house, so she does like the majority of the cooking. If the if the cooker works, because she's got this like Aga that likes to stop cooking.
What? What is it?
Aga?
Is that like a brand, or is it a type of cooking? I'm
it
not
might
well
be.
versed in the cooking universe.
Yeah, me neither. I'm totally making this up.
I don't even know how you
People
spell
are going to yell at
What is
our
that?
podcast.
Aga food.
Aga. I'm not sure. I think it's basically like a very old-fashioned oven, which you like light and then it cooks things.
It's like a country
slowly.
oven thing.
Is that what Google says?
I don't know. See, I searched ARGER, but now like a brand of AGA has come up, and it's like a country style stove.
Could be it. I know it's traditional. Anyway, it's a cooker that likes to turn itself off randomly, and because it is so slow, it's really hard to tell if it's turned off.
No.
So, like, I suppose just a tradition that we did not mean to make is like Christmas dinner's 4 hours late.
Yeah, or not at all.
And mum and dad, I think, would do like the potatoes and bring all of that next door. So it means that even though there's quite a lot of people, we can all share in the activities. And I suppose like I'm only just at the stage where I can help.
Yeah.
And so, hooray, I can try that. And now I'm like, whoopsie, vegan, and like making the whole thing.
No, by the way,
slightly
change
different.
your recipes.
Yep. Sorry, everyone. Butter is out.
Yeah.
Take that bird out of that bird. I don't know. What are you doing?
Never imagine hearing those words come out of your mouth. Yeah. Take that bird out of that bird.
I would love if we're somehow famous enough one day for there to be just a compilation of like out of context things we've said.
Absolutely. I think we can just start that. I think we should just.
That's the goal.
Just do it.
Awesome.
Why not?
Cool. All right. I love it. So food I think is like a huge part of the tradition. And I suppose like young Chloe said, gifts. Gifts is another huge one. And I think this year in particular, it's fairly tough on people. I think even though financially we were probably all told after the lockdowns, it's going to get tight and like the price of things have to go up because we've supported people, yada, yada.
Yeah.
All of the fun financial things that I don't know too much about, but it's hitting everyone really hard.
Definitely.
I mean, I feel like I'm going to sit down with my family and say I cannot really afford to do much gift giving this year. You have my love from afar. And that's going to have to do.
I think that's perfectly fine, though. I'm not sure if I touched on this before in a previous episode. I definitely told so many people, anyone who will listen, that I don't even know how many years ago it was. We started doing family KK, and it was like my entire extended family. Because there was one year where I love buying things for people. Like I find so much joy in it, and I love receiving gifts. Like I'm not going to lie, I'm not that person that's like, no, don't get me anything. Like I might say that, but if you get me something, I'm gonna be like, yay. There was one Christmas
for me.
Yes. I had 2 presents. Oh my goodness. It's so bad, but it's great. But bad. But yeah, there was one Christmas where I was working in retail. And I'd finished my job and I was walking around the shopping center and I was like, oh my gosh, this. And because I was just buying things that I saw that I thought, oh, this person would like it. This is perfect for this other person. I was buying like multiple gifts for people and I calculated and I think I had spent $3,000 on presents. And I just about had a heart attack because over the time, like working in retail over Christmas, you know, you go on your lunch break, you go here, and there's dribs and drabs that you don't realize. But then when I added it all together, I was like, oh. So
my goodness.
The next year, I was like, all right, I'm making stuff for everybody. And as much as that sounds like a great idea, it sucked so much. I had spent so much time. In the end, I was like, I would have preferred to have just spent money. And it was like, great, people liked this stuff. But, you know, so now onto family KK. Extended family. And we all have $100 and we're all adults. So it's not like, you know, if there's young kids or anything, they still get gifts. So we're all adults. So it's, you know, reasonable. And my beautiful sister and my lovely cousin are often the organisers. So you have to compile a list of what you would like. And you can have one thing on there. You can have 20 things on there. And you send it in to sister or cousin and they allocate you to another person. So you get someone else's list. So if you like shopping, you can be like, heck yeah, I'm going to pick all the stuff off the list and make it equal 100. Or you go, I'm not a shopper. This person wants a gift card. Sweet. So in the end, you end up with something that you actually wanted because you put it on your list. And I know it's essentially buying yourself a present. But you still have the fun of sitting around in the room like with like 20 people or whatever, opening presents. And then you go look around and you've got to be like, who's suspicious? Was it you? So you guess. So it's like still a fun game. And I am so grateful because now I can get away with Christmas for pretty much $100.
Yes.
So I definitely
you don't have to worry about
recommend.
extended family anymore.
Yeah,
that is
and
really
I mean,
good.
you don't have to do 100. You could do 50. You could do whatever works for your family. And I'm sure there's, you know, mums and siblings and grandparents out there who are like, yeah, great, but I also want to buy you something.
Yeah.
And that's fine too. Like if it brings them joy, then who are you to take it away?
Yeah, my mum especially does. She loves getting gifts. Like she can keep to a budget. It can be small, but she'll be like, okay, well, how much can I get out of this?
Yeah.
She like thrives off it, and like she likes the tree to look full and to have that like gift giving experience. Like just it brings a lot of joy, and I think my family does go a bit over the top. Like nothing's ever extravagant, but they definitely enjoy it, and therefore I've grown up absolutely enjoying it too. Like the same as you. Like for me, you shouldn't have. Okay, then.
Definitely. I am not at all ashamed to say that I like gifts. And exactly that, like opening something you don't know what it is. And I mean, mind you, I hate not knowing. If Jake gets me something, he will be like, oh, I bought you something. And I'm like, oh, what is it? He's like, no. I'm like, give me a hint. He's like, no. And then every day I'm like, give me a hint. Just tell me something. Like, what is it in relation to? Blah, 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 blah. So as much as I like gifts, I also hate not knowing.
I think I'm way worse at that now than when I was a kid. I think as a kid, I like once had a slip up where I thought I'd get away with like taking one and like going into like the pantry and like opening it or something. But never again though. Well, although I think one of my friends told me like, no, you opened all your gifts, but I don't remember it that way.
Oh, you just blocked it out. You're like, no, that wasn't me. I don't know what you're talking about.
What? No, I absolutely suppressed that, if that's the truth.
No,
but now I think because of like the on-demand quick nature of everything, I'm like, I want to know what it is.
Yeah. Same.
Like, ooh, it's a box. What's in the box? Shake the box.
Yeah.
Lick the box. Like, what's in the box?
Yeah. So now, like my family, you know, my dad is notorious for this. He'll get you a teeny tiny little trinket and he'll put it in a box, in something else, in something else. So you end up with this thing that's like huge and you're like, ooh, what is it? Like shake it. Nothing makes a sound. You're like, oh. And then you open it up and you're like, it was another box.
Oh, classic dad move.
Classic dad thing.
I would love to just stare at his face.
Yeah.
Well, you're like, oh, what could it be?
It. He absolutely loves it. He's also notorious for making like an A4 page document that just says like, this entitles you to like one night stay at dad's house. And then he has like all of these like terms and conditions at the bottom.
Oh, that's brilliant. Because you'd be like, Dad, I stay with you all the time. You'd be like, yes, but now there's terms and conditions.
Exactly. It's very entertaining.
Turns out to be a gift for him because it's like, but you must vacuum. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like we love gifts, but Christmas is the most notorious time of year for returns. So according to girlfriend.com.au, the most returned Christmas gifts are chocolate, beauty gift sets, scented candles, clothes, and makeup. Yeah, chocolate.
Who returns chocolate?
That shocked me too.
Yeah, I totally get the beauty gift sets, like scented candles and stuff like that. But chocolate.
Yeah, chocolate. I know. I would even just, I mean, for one, I'll eat it. Or for two, I'll give it to someone else.
But that's the thing. Are they buying like $100 chocolate blocks, because I'd understand returning that. But if it's like, you know, a lint bundle or like a thing of favorites, yeah, I would just give that to someone else. Regift
Yeah,
it.
absolutely. Or I will just eat it.
Well, yes, exactly right.
If it's not vegan, then we do have a bit of a problem.
Mm-hmm.
But also with my own little like, oh, can't waste it, I would still probably eat it.
Yeah.
Knowing me. Like, oh no, it's melting in the sun.
Oh no, it's melting in my mouth.
But in the UK, there's, I guess, like the drugstore of choice is this brand called Boots, and they have like a Christmas special thing. I would live for whenever it's like mid-November, when they start doing this, like just whole aisle of Boots is taken up with all of the Christmas gift sets, and they were always 3 for the price of 2.
Oh.
So it always meant that, for one, I'm like, ooh, what do I secretly want to get myself? Oh, this for mum, this for grandma,
Yeah,
this
what
for
do
me.
I want for me?
Yeah. But then like the day after Christmas, everything goes on half price sale.
Yeah. But do they still have stock?
Surprisingly, yes.
Oh.
Like, and it's not necessarily like the best stuff anymore. But now I look at all of it and like, I think I even went in last year after Christmas to be like, oh, okay, maybe I can get a good like deal. And I wanted none of it. I realized like I don't want everything that's in this gift set. I want maybe one thing, and therefore if I buy this, even if it's roughly the same cost as that item, I know I'm going to waste those other 3 items that are in there.
Yes.
It's nice for me to realize that my mindset has changed.
Yeah.
But I can totally see why it's such a returned gift.
Yeah.
Because if people are reasonable and like, I'm not really going to use this.
No. Like, I'm pretty sure Jake threw out, it's probably a couple months ago, we're going through the cupboards being like, what the heck is this? Mainly my stuff. And he probably had like a tiny box of things. And he pulls out, this gift set that he would have gotten for a Christmas, I don't know, probably like 5 years ago. And it was like a aftershave, but then it had like scented body wash and like a moisturizer. And it was like, you know, the black packaging with like gold, very much aimed at men.
Just for men.
Yeah, like that stuff. And he pulled it out and he was like, I was like, open it. I want to smell it. And we both smelled it and we were like, I was like, who the heck is going to put that on their body? Like, it's too strong. Men, they're not going to use like scented body wash. So we ended up throwing it in the bin, but he would have had it for like 5 years. So it would have gone past its date anyway. But,
yeah, true. It may not smell like it originally was.
Well, that's right. It probably was a bit of a mix.
Yeah.
But I think the thing with those little bundles or those Christmas packs is the packaging. They look so
much
inviting.
Packaging. Yeah.
But that's it. It's all, you know, get this big, huge box for 3 little items and you're like, oh, it's beautiful and shiny and it's presented so well. And then you get sucked into buying it and then you get home and you're like, oh, I probably could have just bought, like you said, just that one thing. But they know what they're selling you.
Oh, they absolutely know
and
what
then
they're selling you.
You know, in a box, in a plastic thing, and another plastic thing. And it's like, oh, I just paid for all this packaging.
I actually bought myself, I'm like looking down under here because it's still under my desk.
Oh no.
My first 1 or 2 years here, I'm guessing year number 2, because I had way more money in year number 2 than year number 1.
Fair.
And I don't have that same amount of money now either. But
fair.
I
Also
bought
fair.
myself the Body Shop calendar. Or like whatever it's called, so that there's 24 days, or maybe it's 12, I don't know.
Yeah.
And so like there's a little thing on every day.
The little drawers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I even worked out like, well, financially, like there's the $50 one and the $70 one or something like that. And I think I ended up going for the $70 one because the price of each item in it was just worth more. And I knew that the most expensive item I planned on giving to someone.
Okay. Yeah.
So I was like, sweet. I know that even though I won't use that really expensive product on its own, I'm going to give that to someone else. And that's going to be great. Yes. And I basically used that as an excuse for me to buy the whole thing.
Yeah. So you go, I'm buying this for my friend, but I'm getting all these little treats.
Yeah. And like one of the days, literally like one was like, say, a nail file.
Oh.
And one was a soap shaped like a Christmas tree. And then there was a day where it's literally just this little wooden like dice individual thing. But instead of numbers, it had like a triangle and a circle and like square and a star. And I have zero use for this little block, but I can't fathom giving it away either because I don't know what anyone else would do with it.
Oh man.
It's wasted everywhere.
That's just like refreshed my memory of seeing, I feel like there was a real phase maybe a couple years ago about all the like YouTubers and stuff who were making like Christmas calendars.
Are you about to say Zoella?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you remember that one?
I it was like a scandal, wasn't it? Like
It
the stuff inside
was.
it was rubbish.
Horrid.
Yeah, like so much money that because Zoella is so famous, everyone's like, oh my gosh, parents, I would really love this calendar.
Yeah, and it's like a secondhand lipstick or something.
Like a lipstick, like, and the lipstick's probably like the best thing in there. And then it's like pens and a little lip gloss.
Yeah, but that goes back to what we were talking about before in receiving gifts, because every day is a gift. And even if you open it up and you get that nail file, you still had the joy of like, oh, what's this? Opening it up.
Yeah.
So it's like,
true. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot the Christmas chocolate advent calendars existed, and I'm now really excited because I can get a vegan one.
Yeah, my dad has gotten a vegan one for the past few years.
Aww.
But the issue is that my mum also gets one, so then I have 2 advent calendars, and I mean, it's not really an issue, but
that's not in any way an issue.
I know, but then I also feel bad. And then so sometimes I'm like, oh, I won't have a chocolate today. And then I have like 3 days later, I'm like, oh my God, 3 days worth of double chocolate.
That's like a whole bar of chocolate. That's
I know.
6 little things. Wow.
I know.
Do you have a recommendation of a vegan advent calendar?
No. I know my dad gets them. I think Aldi had them. And I think like Big W and Kmart and stuff have them. I want to say Nomo.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do like that chocolate.
Maybe. I'm not sure. I'm sure there's more out this year anyway. I mean, I know it's plasticky, but...
Depending on the... Oh, yeah, true. No, I was going to say, depending on the brand, but actually, no, they do, don't they? Well, there's people that, like, they'll make a box, for example.
Yeah.
Or, like, they'll make a little fabric tree with pockets and that sort of thing.
Yeah,
and that's really cute. Because then
I think
you could just go out and buy your own little chocolates or make chocolates.
Yeah.
Or it could not be chocolate, I guess, but I really would prefer.
Yeah, we can get a whole bunch of nail files. 24 nail files.
Oh my gosh, think of how many little wooden dice you can have.
Oh, the joy.
Let's still... Oh, okay. I was going to get into gifts. I'm not going to get into gifts yet because I wanted to briefly touch on money because I really do like the idea of the like Christmas kringle. People spend way too much on Christmas is the moral of the story.
Yes.
So
you are not wrong.
Here's my little thing.
Oh dear. Prepare myself.
This is from finder.com.au. I might be wrong. No, I think I'm right. I'm going to stick with my guns here.
Stick to it. Confidence.
I'm right, okay? This is from Finder. Australians are set to fork out $23.9 billion on everything from presents to pina coladas this festive season. And I think this is like 2019, but I could be wrong there. And that is equivalent to a 38% increase compared to last year's, which is estimated at $17.3 billion. My goodness. I know that I copy and pasted this stat down, but I feel like I didn't read it. That's huge.
Yeah. It's just hit you again. You're like, holy
it's
moly.
Like, whoa. Ho, ho, holy moly. But the worst thing, the average Aussie spends $1,223 on Christmas presents, food, alcohol, eating out, and travel, which is less than Michaela did that year. So
yeah, far out.
Good on the average Australian, I guess.
I guess it's averaged out across everyone.
Yeah, right. You've skewed it a little bit. But then all the other years where you're like, no, just $100, you're skewing it back down.
Just $100. That's it.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I just love that so much. I'm getting distracted from reading because I'm like, I want to spend so much less on Christmas.
Yeah.
Just over half of Aussies use savings to fund their holiday spending. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, 23% will have to go into debt to cover their Christmas costs. That's just awful. I hate it. I hate it. You shouldn't have to go into debt. Like, it shouldn't be as important as that. And whether that's you putting that pressure on yourself or your family or friends putting that pressure on you, I don't like it.
No, not only that, I feel like you have the stress leading up to Christmas thinking, oh gosh, how am I going to pay for this? You make it work, and then you have the one day of joy, and then you have the next month of just
paying
regret and stress.
Yeah, January is such like a slow month for like sales and everything else. Like so many businesses like, oh my God, no one's buying anything. Because if it's a small business, there's a person behind that, just a few people, and they might have got Christmas gifts for people and are hoping it's okay. I'll get more money in January or whatever. And if no one's buying anything, oh no.
Exactly. I think the issue with stop it. The issue with people spending so much money is, I feel like, because we're in the era of social media, like people post their big Christmas, their huge tree, all their presents underneath their tree. And I feel like, you know, even if you're not trying to deliberately, you're trying to one up everyone else. You're trying to be like, oh, well, I saw so-and-so posted their Christmas tree and they have so many gifts. I'm going to quickly run out and buy more so that I can take a photo and share as well and show how good I'm being.
It's an odd sort of FOMO. Yeah, compare yourself against people. And so many people do struggle with that with social media. Like, I like to think at least whatever algorithm I've got going on my Instagram is pretty nice. Like, I see funny dogs and art and like Zelda and then like ethical lifestyle stuff and all my friends. Whereas I know one of my friends recently has just been so overwhelmed and so like affected body image wise. Like, they're such a gorgeous person and yet they're so put down by social media thinking, oh, everyone has this certain body type, everyone's wearing this to the gym now, and like doesn't realize or didn't realize that it had a massive effect on their mental health.
Yeah.
And recently, like for the past 3 weekends, they've been like, screw it. They've deleted Instagram and they'll just log back in every Sunday, check up, log out, get rid of it from their life.
I think that's a great idea. And I'm so like ingrained in it, but I have gone through and like unfollowed certain people, but I still find I'm wasting time on it and I'm comparing myself to other people. Like, I started another account that was just like no thoughts, just post. Like, you would have seen my plant seat belted in the other day. It was a safe journey home.
Good. Yeah.
And that brings me joy because I'm just like post whatever the heck I want. But my personal account, I'm like, I don't know if I want to post this. Like, I'm looking at my friends. They've got all these really nice photos on their feed. Like, I'm going to ruin it. Not only that, like, even if you unfollow these people that are setting unrealistic standards, you also get the bloody targeted ads.
Yeah.
Last time I looked at Instagram, I just cracked the tabs and closed it because it had someone I followed, an ad, a post of someone I followed, a sponsored post, and it was every second post was an ad, and I was like, this is ridiculous. It's not what I want to see. So I can definitely understand how people get lost and sucked into it and think this is the norm, when in actual fact it's advertisers or people curating a lifestyle to show off, you know, something that's not necessarily real.
And it really can get to you. And there's just got to be something psychologically, sociologically, like you want to present yourself as either the same as people or maybe even slightly above, like whatever, like you want to think that you're doing well. I'm not qualified at all to be saying things, but like if you're not doing that well mentally, for example, it might be like, yeah, but I can still look like I've got a good life.
Exactly.
Like, I can excel in this other area, and there's so much that is presentation these days. And if it looks good, then people think that you've just got your life together. Yeah, so this whole social media, how do we get back there? Oh my gosh, money.
Sorry. I just initiated that tangent, but you know,
I love it. And it's relevant because we spend so much of our lives on Instagram. Like, otherwise that wouldn't be that handy setting that tells you you've been online for like 8 hours today.
God. Yeah. I don't think I have that turned on.
I don't have an iPhone. I know that they just tell you what your screen time and like Instagram time is, but on Instagram I think you can find out if you go into like analytics somewhere.
I don't want to know.
But actually I really like I'm getting into the whole Be Real app.
Oh yeah, the guys at work are talking about it, and the other apprentice today was like, his phone went ding. He's like, oh, a Be Real. Can I take a photo of you, my Be Real? And I was like sitting at the office chair being like, no. So he runs outside to the other apprentice. He's like, Rob, be my Be Real.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, it's not real anymore, Matt. He's like, oh.
Yeah, you're kind of staging it now.
But yeah.
I know. It's
continue.
fun though. I literally have 2 people on it, and it would be way more fun if there were more people.
Yeah.
But like, I got rid of Snapchat years ago.
Oh, I haven't used Snapchat in a long time.
Yeah. It's like if Snapchat was like, okay, but you have to all do it right now. So it's quite fun in that way of, you've just taken a picture. It tells you someone else is taking a picture right now as well. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'll put my friends doing it too. Haha, fun. And then you're all just kind of online at the same time for like 10 minutes. Can have a little chat about what's going on. Yeah. Like, my friend noticed today that I had like 10 tabs up for Patagonia. Just as like part of my screen. I'm like, lol.
What are you doing?
Can see what you're looking at.
Yeah.
I like the idea of Be Real in that this is what people do the majority of the time. Instagram really can just be a highlight reel. It can be a reel of anything you want, but the majority of the time, it's going to be stuff you want to look back on. It's it's a nice scrapbook of your life, whatever you want that to be. Whereas Be Real is like, no, it's right now.
Yeah.
It's right now or it's not at all.
Yeah, exactly. So since we just talked about statistics for finance, I think it'd be good to continue with the numbers things. So
love it. Love a number.
This statistic is going to lead us into something. Australians use more than 150,000 kilometres of what? You already know because I read the statistic to you. But
yeah,
listeners,
I can pretend. Oh my gosh, I just don't know.
Wow. Well, Australians use more than 150,000 kilometres of wrapping paper during Christmas. That is enough to wrap around the Earth's equator nearly 4 times.
No. Oh my gosh.
What the heck?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And we touched on this briefly before that, you know, we do like opening presents. And I think that involves the paper side of things.
Yeah, no, I get so much joy out of not seeing the thing.
Well, that's exactly right.
How could I put it any other way?
I feel like paper is more fun than like a gift box or a gift bag because it's just like so much of the unknown. But with wrapping paper, I feel like a lot of people don't realize that most wrapping papers that are available commercially, like from the big shops, are actually lined with plastic. So you can't even, it's not paper, it's plastic. So
as soon as it's shiny, even not like, it doesn't have to be gold, silver, whatever, like even that shine on it.
Sheen.
And the minute there's like glitter on it, that's plastic as well.
I know.
Which I'm sure.
Such a glitter sucker. Like I know that I have glitter wrapping paper in my wardrobe.
Yep.
So I need to touch base on this and I need to look at some different alternatives.
Well, I can be useful here. I have alternatives.
Go for it.
I mean, the easiest one to start doing right now is to just reuse what you've got.
Yeah.
And if you tell people, and you can even get sellotape that's like somehow kinder to your wrapping paper.
You can get you can get even paper like water-based adhesive tape.
Oh yeah, with no plastic on it. Yeah, that stuff is so cool. Yeah. We will link where you can buy that below because it is really cool.
Yes.
But yeah, reusing what you have, telling people be gentle with the wrapping paper because you'll reuse it. Great. What I will personally do, and I was filled with so much joy because one of my grandmas did this with all of hers and like her husband's gifts. They get Who Gives a Crap toilet paper.
Oh, yes.
And they like pre-made them into like sheets. So they got all the rolls of wrapping that goes around the toilet paper, smoothed it all out, sellotaped all of that together, and then used that to like wrap presents with.
That's so cute.
And it was brilliant. And like that arrived, like it went all the way from England to here.
Oh my gosh.
And she had like painted a picture of like a chicken and I love it so much.
Bless. But then I feel like you can't reuse that. You have to keep that and frame that. That's too cute.
I think I do still have it. But I do the same. Like I get the Eco Cheeks toilet roll and that's got really beautiful designs on it. So I'm absolutely using that as wrapping paper as well, like alongside my stock of like already used wrapping paper.
Yes. Yeah.
But I have some other fun alternatives. I will absolutely link the brands below. There are a few different alternatives that I've heard of. And yes, you can get boxes, you can get bags, you can keep reusing them, especially if you just don't write someone's name on the tag.
Or if you do, like if you write it on the tag, write it in a way that if the tag's removed, you can still re-gift. I actually we went to a baby shower the other week and one of my friends was like, oh, I just reused this bag because like we all put in for the gift and she put it in a bag and she was like, oh, I just reused this bag. Like I couldn't write anything on it because I had pulled the tag off. And then my other friend's like, huh, I gave you that bag for your baby shower. And she's like, oh, there you go.
Like, oh, really?
I was like, I love that.
Must be a good bag.
Yeah, it was very
It's making the rounds. Well, I guess if it's very themed.
Yeah, baby shower to baby shower.
Yeah, you can just keep on going. Yeah, if it says Merry Christmas on it, then you just keep going with the Merry Christmas thing. I love the idea of making stockings, making fabric stockings, like putting stuff inside.
That's cute.
And then you can wrap things within that, I guess, as well, especially if you are like me and you've just got so much wrapping paper that you don't know what to do with. You may as well. But yeah, stockings are great, especially because then it kind of limits how much you should buy for people. If you do go a bit over the top, like not mentioning any names, Mum. then then it confines you to like a space. But knowing her, she's like, oh, I'll just make another stocking.
Oh, I bought you 3 stockings.
Oopsie.
Yeah.
I know, as soon as you know how to sew, you're like, well, you can just keep going.
But that's a really good thing too. Like if you do a stocking, you could also just do fabric. Like, you know, just a family friend, like an old family friend, gave me a present once, and it was wrapped in fabric. And I think that was because she knew like that I liked sewing, and I loved it. I was like, this cute little piece of fabric, like I can use it or I can turn it into something. And then whenever I use it or see it again, I'm going to associate it with this really nice gift. I'm like,
yeah, great idea. Yeah, my Nana last year, I think she actually meant to buy me a scarf, but then she got carried away and bought quite a few scarves and used those scarves to wrap other things.
Oh, I thought you were going to say then she used those scarves to wrap those scarves. And I was like...
Well, one of them might have been.
Maybe.
But it was actually like a great use of these scarves. They were quite like wide scarves and like you just wrap them around and then something is covered up and you get a scarf and a thing. Like, oh
and
my
you still
gosh,
have
do
the
give
joy
someone.
of the unknown.
Yeah, precisely.
Yeah. I think it might be hard, and this is totally out of my element, but if you have kids. So I think going back to what Chloe said about the stockings, I think that is a great idea for kids because you have the one big thing and then you can have all these little presents in it and you still have the unknown of, you know, reaching in and grabbing something out and being like, oh, what's this? So I do understand that, yes, you know, some of these solutions might not be for everyone, but if you can make one little change and that suits your family, then that's still a bonus. So don't feel like we're having a go. We're just trying to help. And if you have any suggestions too, like anyone with kids, with, you know, families, let us know because we would love to share it for other people who maybe also have kids.
Yeah, and if you have transitioned to a more ethical Christmas, sustainable Christmas, I would absolutely love to hear what that's like, especially with kids, because I feel like I'm very much at the beginning of that Christmas-wise.
Yes.
And instead of like finding solutions, I'm like, I just won't do anything to do with that.
Yeah, I know. And we don't necessarily want that. Like we still want to have the excitement and the fun of Christmas.
Yeah. So fabric. Yeah, fabric's great. There are some that I got from a company last year or the year before, which basically comes in like this ideal size for wrapping most gifts. Like it can be up to like a whatever size book. And it also came with like a ribbon attached.
Oh.
And like a little guide. So it like taught you different styles of wrapping because there's this like, I guess it's really beautiful, like more intricate. You can do all these different designs so that it wraps itself and like holds itself together.
So
and
cool.
Then you just like tie the ribbon that's already on it to the gift. And it's like, oh, it's so good. And you can get all these different styles. I love it so much. Like I got 3 of them and I mean, I suppose part of me is like, oh, I don't want to use them on people. No, because I like the styles.
I just want to keep them.
Yeah. Or I'm just, I suppose, sentimental and like choosy about who they go to, like who will really like this wrapping paper and then pass it on to someone else, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Then you know they're going to appreciate it and potentially regift it to you.
Yeah. Well, yeah, true. Like,
Yes, yeah.
Although I suppose if it's like a birthday, then you could absolutely keep using the same like fabric wrapping paper every year.
Definitely.
Your kids will just associate that wrapping paper with like, oh, yay.
Yeah.
It's my birthday. It's gifts. Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
And then if you like have some restraint and only buy like that pack of 3 and keep it to that. I actually saw, gosh, I hope I can remember this. I was just basically looking up like Christmas stats or like what is Christmas something, and it like auto-generated all of this other stuff. And people were asking about like a 4 gift rule. And so it basically covered all the bases of like something they want, something they need, something to wear, something to read. There we go.
Oh, that's so cute.
It rhymed.
I love that.
And so it like covers all the bases. Like they kind of feel like everything they could want. Like, it's right here.
That's so cute.
4 things. You're done. Great.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Love it.
Love. You could also maybe just not wrap things and hide them in really obscure places and then play like hot or cold to find them.
Ooh, that's true.
Mind you, I feel like if you have kids, they're probably looking to find the hidden presents. So it's like,
Can't put them at eye level.
No.
Did you ever have the elf on the shelf thing, or is that like
no
generation below us?
Yeah. No. I think it's cute though. I think it's funny.
Yeah, I love the idea that the elf moves every day.
Yes. Yeah, and like in weird spots, like in a cereal box or something in the pantry.
It's so cute. Yeah, I think I'd quite like to do the old elf on the shelf thing. Pose them in weird positions. think I've just seen my cousin doing it. It's like, it looks like so much fun.
Yes.
All right. I think it's time to get into some quick tips to end this session on before you all go out and hopefully don't frantically do some Black Friday shopping.
Yes, definitely. Well, one tip for Black Friday is make a list. If it's something that you want or something that you need and you can get it for cheaper, 100% buy it on Black Friday. But don't just look through the sales and go, ooh, because you will be tempted and you will end up with things that you didn't need and you will spend money that you probably shouldn't have spent. So make a list.
Yes, absolutely. And oh my goodness, I swear more often than not, those sales are like completely made up. Like either it will continue to be on sale afterwards or they'll mark it up to full price. Like something might have been reduced, then marked up to full price and then reduced again just for Black Friday. So you think you're getting a good deal.
So not only do you write a list, do your research.
Do your research.
Beforehand.
Know what the price is. Look in other places. There's like, this is not, I guess, Christmas related, but there are like, when I want a computer game, there are a few different places that I'll check and it always ends up being this other place that's like way cheaper. Yeah. Even though they will charge postage and the other place won't. That sort of thing.
Still cheaper. Wow.
And absolutely a tip for online shopping and sales. I've seen a number of shops have a sale and then increase the price of their postage.
That is so wrong.
Yeah, or make it so that you need to spend more to get free postage.
Spend $150.
So like either way.
Cheeky.
Either way you kind of end up spending more.
The same. Yes. Yeah. So don't get sucked in.
Yeah, that's like the one reason that would make me actually shop in person. But I would absolutely rather online shop.
Yeah, for sure.
And with Cyber Monday, oh my goodness, there's so much. There's so much.
I know. Well, we want a new fridge and our TV is like very much on the edge of reality. So I said to Jake, I was like, do your research. We are going to buy a new fridge because we currently have a third-hand one that is slightly lopsided and is also broken, but it's just kicking on. Okay. So we're like doing our research. We know what we want.
Are you going to wait for Black Friday to see if... Cool.
Definitely. Yes,
I hope that it can truck along for that long.
I think it'll be fine. Yep. I have faith. Go little fridge.
Yeah, you can do it. The fridge that could...
Yes. But anyway, there's a couple of things that we are going to get. I think we bought our vacuum like 2 years ago on Black Friday, which is good.
Yeah, I will generally think, okay, what are the gifts that I want to get for people? And wait for Black Friday just to see. And so I'm sure that I'm like skewing the stats of like, oh, so many people plan to do their shopping on Black Friday. It's like, well, yes, but I'm not impulse Black Friday shopping. I'm sure I had a stat somewhere that was about how many returns there are. Oh, I can't find it. Sorry, everyone. In the show notes, there will be something way better than this. But like, honestly, one of my favorite times of the year is that like weird fog of a week between Christmas and New Year because I had like there's zero pressure to do anything. Yeah. But for so many people, that is either when they do more Christmas shopping because like they've got Christmas money or something and they immediately want to go and take advantage of like the sales around that time, or it's when they're returning things like the 26th or the 27th of December is like the highest rate of returns.
Oh, I used to get so angry at people who were trying to return things on Boxing Day because we would have a line around the store and out the door and people would be waiting in line, and the system at this particular store that I worked at for returns was just so people would come up to the counter and be like, oh, I want to return this, and like dump the entire bag of clothes on the counter, and you'd be like, you couldn't wait 1 day.
Yeah. You've got 30 days or whatever it is.
Oh, actually, I think it's even extended for a lot of retail stores. They extend it because they don't want you to come back on Boxing Day and return all this crapola.
Yeah, they know what you're going to do.
Yes. Now, I am not saying don't return things. I think there's 3 things you could do. If you get something and you don't think it's of use to you, you could regift it. You could return it. Or you could donate it. But I'm saying donate at the end because we also don't want a surplus of things unnecessarily donated. So if you could regift or return, definitely a better option.
For sure. Yes, good.
One thing that I read, which I was like, yes, that's actually a really good point, is to give an experience. You don't necessarily have to give an item. So don't focus on the monetary value or the amount of gifts. Like, I know we've touched on before, we all love receiving the little present, but if you could give an experience, then you also give the memory, and it's just a whole different scenario.
Yeah, I do love that. I do suck at them. Like, for one, I'm not sure what people will want. So, like,
just don't buy anyone a hot
tarot
air
is
balloon,
really good though.
bride.
Oh, why not?
Oh, I've seen so many scary videos, and I feel like it's such a Christmas thing to advertise, like hot air balloons. Have you seen how they land those things?
Is it just faith?
You're in like a straw bucket being propelled by fire and air.
Yeah.
And you imagine, a giant balloon coming down, and there's this little bucket at the bottom, and it hits the ground, and then it gets dragged sideways. And mind you, this is obviously not for everybody. I'm sure there's been people who've had good hot air balloon experiences, but not for me.
Not for you. Okay, I'll return
don't
that
ever
somehow.
buy me it. Yeah, thank you. Regift to someone else.
Regift the balloon, right? Oh my God. Damn it. Yeah, they look nice, but honestly, I haven't been in one, and I do think if I think too hard about it, I'm very high in a basket.
Yeah. Nope.
Not sure about that.
But I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be like a big ticket experience either. It could be like, hey, I've dedicated this time, we're going to go watch a movie, or we're going to go do this thing that you love doing. You like walks? We're going to go on a hike.
Yeah, I would recommend if you're getting it for me. And so for anyone like me, I recommend like getting it and then organizing it, because I may never find the time to go myself.
Yes. Like, hey, Chloe, I bought you this thing and we're doing it on this date.
Yeah.
Yay.
Okay. Like, you might think that's inconvenient for the person, but it is far more convenient for me to get it done. I will work my life around it.
Yeah.
I will.
Very good.
Okay. So during my research, and I'm reading this at the same time, according to Forbes.com, they said last year 10.6% of holiday gifts were returned, and the value is 428 billion. That's probably American. And
billion.
Yeah. And the scary thing for heaps of them, like say if it's from Amazon or from like certain chains, logistically, it actually ends up costing like a lot, like to store these items. And so a lot of them are thrown away, a lot of them are incinerated or donated. But usually the donation also still comes with more transport and stuff. So like that's the end of it.
You've got, I guess, transport to the person, then transport back to the company, and then transport to a donation or whatever. Like, that's a lot.
Yeah. Or transportation to wherever it's being stored. And since it's a returned thing, like it's not the new thing anymore.
Yeah.
And returns are often because there's been something that's damaged anyway. Like, often those things can't be sold, or they can't be sold for as much profit or any profit. And so lots of them are trashed or incinerated. So that is a quick note to say, if you're not sure the person will like it, like, I know that you're not meant to say like, oh, will you want this? Like, maybe there's a more sneaky way you can find out, or a less risky route to getting that gift.
True.
But a good thing about this Forbes article, they mentioned something called B stock, which is a good step on the way to being a bit more circular, because they will buy these return items for a very small amount, but it's still worth it for these companies that would otherwise just incinerate them.
Yeah.
This B stock will take them, and then they will sort out like the on-selling. I'm not sure, honestly, how I totally feel about this, because it feels like another weird consumer thing, honestly. Because people will buy, like, have you seen Storage Wars or Storage Hunters or whatever it's called?
Oh gosh, yeah. I actually just watched a video today where this chick spent $12,000 on 6 boxes and went through it all, and the value was like 46 grand.
Oh.
Thanks,
well,
YouTube
great
recommended.
For her. Great for her.
Great for her.
And it is that like gambling, I'm going to spend $100. Yeah, or $1,000 and get like a mystery box of stuff. And I've watched people buy like a random box of stuff on YouTube. I got like totally into this video. It was like a 30-minute long video. There's this girl like, screw it, I've seen other people do it, I'm gonna spend $1,000. Apparently you get $2,000 worth of stuff in this box. I don't know what it's gonna be. And then it was like 9 mirrors, 3 of them broken, 5 mattresses, like one of them the springs aren't working, and like a little like Roomba like vacuum, like all of this weird stuff. Some of
Mhm.
it working, some of it not, some of it knockoff, some of it fine. And I think it ends up working out if you can be bothered to put the time in.
Yeah.
You have to then like dispose of all those broken mirrors and whatever else is broken.
And also calculate, paying yourself an income for doing
True.
the on-selling.
Yeah. And I guess you have to be a marketing whiz to be like, oh,
Yeah.
now I have 5 mattresses this time. I now have to sell
How
them
the hell
somehow.
do you even sell a mattress?
Yeah,
Gosh.
just set up your own little eBay website. But there are people that like make this into a business, and it's great that it's dealing with all of this stock that would otherwise be dumped.
Yeah, but I think as well, all these big businesses then go, oh, well, shit,
There's my
return it.
excuse.
We're going to send it off to this person. They'll buy it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if we make too much. These people are going to do it. So it's not like, I don't think it's circular like this article is saying, like it's amazing, but it's better than nothing.
It is. That's true. I do have 2 more things that I'd like to add.
Go for it.
Please don't buy animals as gifts.
Oh, yeah.
It's
my
just,
gosh.
It sounds like a great idea. Also, please do not buy people animals as gifts when they're unknowing. Don't surprise someone with an animal or a pet. If your family is at that point where, yes, you guys, you've all really wanted a dog, you've been thinking about it for ages, and you can commit, it's not just a spur of the moment Christmas present, by all means, that's perfectly fine. Yes, buy the dog, but only as a conscious decision. Don't just buy it as a Christmas present, please, because it's absolutely heart-wrenching to see how many pets get returned,
put down, even when they're totally healthy.
Exactly right. It hurts my soul. So I'm sorry about that, and I'm sorry to bring that up. And I'm just going to quickly gloss over that now and go into something really cool, which is apparently you can rent a Christmas tree. So in the UK, you can rent a real life tree, which is like super duper cool.
Yeah.
So how it works is the tree is rented out every year until it grows over 2 meters tall. And then after that, it's retired and planted within a forest.
My heart.
I know. So the founders said that they explored the rental concept, and in their research, they learned that 7 million cut trees go into landfill each year. And of course, when they rot, they emit greenhouse gases. So the average rotting 6-foot tree produces 16 kilos of carbon dioxide.
Wow.
So when they realized that, they were like, heck yeah, we got to make this rental thing work. So so cool. Now, unfortunately, it's not available in Australia, but you can hire fake ones. If you don't want to go out and purchase one, because there's a whole nother debate on fake trees versus real trees, and we could do a whole nother episode.
I reckon so, yeah. This time next year, guys.
We will be on it. We'll have all the statistics. So if you don't want, to buy a real tree every year, or you don't want to contribute to a new fake tree, you can hire them. Yes. But I thought I'd end on a fun note and say they retire
the trees.
So cute.
My goodness. That's so wonderful. Well done. You've ended us on a high.
Good. Yay. I hit you with a low and then turned it around.
Way back up to the high.
To end on another fun note, I do not have an answer for this, but I would like to ask you, Chloe, what is your all-time favorite Christmas gift that you've received?
I mean, an obvious answer is probably like a GameCube game or something, because absolutely, like all the Zelda, everything. But honestly, one that just turned out to be great, and like I still use part of it because slowly this gift has gone missing throughout the years.
No. Yep.
A shout out to Nana Janet. I think like 2 years ago, this isn't the gift, she gave us like these star-shaped sponges and was like, oh, it's a nothing gift, it's useful and whatever. And like me and Tarek used we used them to death. They were great, these little like scrubby, scoury little stars. They were perfect. We loved them. But years and years and years ago, she got me like this pack of like multi-pack of scissors. And they're so good. Like I had scissors for everything. And year by year, I have lost those scissors. And there is one pair remaining that I use for everything. Like other pairs of scissors have like broken. And now we've got this same pair of scissors for like cutting up everything in the kitchen and paper and everything else. Like we have sewing scissors for sewing.
Yes, of course. Thank you. Yes, I'm glad you clarified.
That stays away. And this small pair of scissors with a yellow handle for everything else.
Bless. That is such a practical present.
I know, and like I've never bought scissors.
No.
And
that's like a blessing.
I hope I never will. I would like more scissors.
Yes, yeah. Take note. What
Take
was
note,
it?
guys.
Nana Janet.
Yeah, learn from Nana Janet. Buy multi-packs of scissors for people. What can I say? Perfect.
Practical gifts are the best gifts.
Gift. Yeah, scourers. It's brilliant. Stop buying scented candles, guys. Scissors are the way to go.
Yes.
Scissors are the way to go.
I love that.
Well, if you're not going to answer, then I'm going to throw it out to people. Guys, if you see this, if you listen to this, comment on one of our most recent posts and let us know what your favorite gifts have been. That would be really cool.
I might be able to comment by then.
Yay! Thanks everyone so much for listening. If you enjoyed today's show, we would love if you could leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or a star rating on Spotify. You can follow the podcast on @greengirls.podcast. You can follow me with @BeKindCoco, and you can follow Michaela with @Michaela Hoffman or @RetroKittyVintage. Oh my goodness, Michaela, where can people get your Christmas earrings?
Yes, if you would like my Christmas earrings, my little either tinsel earrings or the bauble earrings,
They're so fun.
I have previously listed them on Leo the Label, but if you check my personal account, I will tell you where to go, hopefully by the time this episode is out.
Wonderful. I'll try and put it in the show notes if we can. Yeah, they're so good. They're my favorite Christmas earrings.
I have a lot. Every time I make a new color, I'm like, I like this.
I gotta have one for me.
Yes.
If you would like to email us to become a sponsor or for any reason, you can do that via greengirlspodcast@gmail.com. We have also started a Patreon. It's very new, but you can look up Green Girls Podcast there and find us and get some wonderful things each month. That's all, folks. Look out for episodes every other Wednesday because on Wednesdays we podcast. We hope you enjoyed listening to our ramblings today. And until next time, remember, it doesn't matter if you take it slow. It matters that you take a step.
Bye.
Bye.